good morning, buenos dias, buonasera. Welcome to Life's Questions and Lessons. I'm your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited and grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. As always, we'll get started with a question and whatever activity you engage in to explore your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, please feel free to do. So today's first question is, where do I feel at home? Where do I feel at home? So I recently picked up a book called Ignite Your Light. And it was one of those books that I was called to. Most of the books that I buy, I feel like I was called to or led to. But I really was called to this one because I didn't really understand what the book was about. I buy books by title, or, if I'm in the library, I borrow books by title, and I'll kind of flip through, a few pages and read, a few lines, but I don't read reviews. I like the mystery of what the book is going to have. And so with this book, it's all about energy. And I'm so glad that I actually didn't know that was what it was about when I first purchased it, because when I did purchase it, I wasn't really in that space, in that season of learning about energy and all of the ways that the author, her name is Jolene Hart, but how she actually describes, she breaks everything down from the energy of the ingredients that we use in our food to the energy of food preparation, the energy of the daylight, moonlight, talking about all these ways of how, what it feels like when our light is, at its brightest, and things that dim our energy and activities and research. It is a phenomenal read. And one of the sections, I want to say it was in the daylight section, but in one of the sections, there were questions, and there was a question about, when you feel at home. And I thought that was a really great question to bring to the podcast, because as I was writing, where do I feel at home? First of all, I realized that there are a lot of people that, unfortunately, home is not their safe space. And I'm very aware of that. One of the reasons that I have this podcast and I host workshops and really try to speak to anyone I can about self-reflection and exploration and really personal growth as a whole is all of our experiences are very, very different. And we all have to have a space to understand who we are. So I do know, and I am very aware that for a lot of people, home is not a safe space. And that, a writing activity, because for me, when I'm exploring, that is my activity of choice. And I'm a writer anyway. So honestly, I'm writing no matter what. But as I started to think about where I felt at home, I think one of the first places was on stage, because I'm a singer, and just singing. And when I say stage, it could be the stage in my bathroom, but just the act of singing really makes me feel at home. And on an actual stage as well, so in front of people, I also feel at home. I feel this like warmth and like I'm meant to be there and sing. And as I continued to write, there was a few other places. And the last place that I wrote was, I feel at home on the blank page. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I think I just didn't really understand how powerful and how, I don't know, just how much reverence I have for the blank page. Because even if you're not a writer, it's that one space that you can just be. There's no judgments. There's no expectations. Whatever thoughts you have, whatever feelings you have, you place them on that page. And it's really such a therapeutic experience and a sacred practice, in all honesty, at this point in my life. So this exercise brought up a lot of emotions and insights that I just felt like I got to bring this to the podcast. If I could, come on now. So as you're exploring this question, really give yourself some time with this question. If, you feel at home, or the places that you feel at home, or the spaces, this could be outside. It could be outside with your feet in the grass, on a park bench somewhere. It could be at the bookstore. That's a place that I actually feel at home. I love being surrounded by knowledge. I feel very peaceful in bookstores and libraries, anywhere with books. But as you're, exploring this, really trust the insights that come through, and really flow wherever, your heart kind of takes you as you're looking at your thoughts and your emotions and beliefs around these questions. So those are the questions I had on my heart. Please rate, review this podcast wherever you are listening. And if this was helpful for you in this journey of self-exploration and reflection and exploring all your thoughts and really learning about yourself, if this experience has been helpful for you, please share this podcast, because if it was helpful for you, it is probably going to be helpful for someone else. And until next time, take care.